we have here is an el44 carburetor out of a 562 XP or a 555, take your choice. There's no auto-tune module on it. This is the one I've been playing with back and forth. I've been swapping this out back and forth with an el46 that has been extremely problematic. And in going back and forth trying different things. The EL, thanks, get out of the way. This is my helper. The el46 has been problematic in the ways of the nozzle. If you guys haven't watched Mitch's or M. Webber's videos, I highly suggest you go watch his, because you can understand everything he says, and he's very good. He's the man. But the nozzle problems, transition problems, throttle plate problems, anything, you name it. And been going back and forth with that. But this el44 seems to be working excellent right now. Don't need help. Come back when I need help. This particular carburetor, I've been using the el46 auto-tune module on. No changes in software updates or anything. Just take it as it is for the 46 and put it on here, and that works great. But still did have a slight hesitation, not so much to stall the saw, but it would hesitate enough to be annoying, especially when the saw is not supposed to do that. Now, a lot of guys will try to modify the pop-off pressure, because it is extremely high on these saws, but I found so far that it does need it. Modifying the spring, clipping one coil at a time until I've clipped off 6 or 7 coils total, still has that hesitation. It tends to load up and get awfully rich. So in trying to fix that, focusing on this throttle plate here. This one's all scratched up because I practically destroyed it taking it in and out of this thing. But sanding it smooth has proved to be fine. In the 44, as Mitch has shown, you get the throttle plate that has just simply 2 half moon or notches in it, as I would say. You can take this one and simply rotate it so that one of the notches lines up with the transition holes in the body of the carburetor. I have terrible lighting, and I probably can't do this with one hand, but there you go. You can see the transition holes, and as you close that, I've got it lined up so that notch lines up with the transition holes. Rotate that a little bit if you have an el44, and that seems to take care of any and all hesitation problems. This carburetor has a factory spring back in it. All of the coils with that extremely high, insane pop-off pressure that nobody seems to care for. Last time I checked on my gauge, I got it up to around 30 psi, and it was still climbing. And I know most guys tend to use a common number of like 15 or so as their target, but you're gonna have a problem if you lower it to 15 or whatnot. Even taking off as many coils as I did before, I was still seeing 25 plus psi, and it was having hesitation problems. So I recommend not messing with the pop-off on these at this time. Aside from that, I am messing with the 46 carburetor currently in the saw, the one that's given me all kinds of troubles. It is working pretty good right now. I've got to get it in some wood, get it so it can tune itself and learn. But I've taken the 46 throttle plate, I've cut a notch in it where the transition holes are, to kind of mimic what we've done here with this one, just rotating it. Rotating the 46 doesn't seem to work. You have to rotate it too far, and it just won't go. It's an extremely tight fit in there, and it doesn't want to spin that far. So I cut a new notch in it, and I'm hoping that will take care of it. So in the 46, I've got the notch. I've got the nozzle replaced with a 44 nozzle. I've got a factory spring back in there for that pop-off pressure. I don't want to mess around with it with too low a pressure. And hopefully in the next couple of days I'll get a chance to put a good run on it. Andy's been a good sport, letting me use his saw to really sort this problem through, and not get it back to him too soon and still have a problem show up. So I definitely appreciate that. He deserves a big thanks for his donation to science, as we're as we're calling it. That right there, actually, I'll point out, I noticed in Mitch's video, he said he didn't have the throttle position sensor piece on there, and somebody questioned that. That's all it is, just a couple of funny looking knobs on there held on to the throttle plate. It's just opposite the linkage over here. The auto tune module bolts on, and there is a magnetic sensor in there that senses your throttle position. And if you go through the diagnostic software, it's not a matter of on, off, or wide open or closed. It will recognize throttle position anywhere from 0 to 100%. So it is a very sensitive device with some good feedback. So hope everyone could understand everything I said. Sorry if you get a little nauseous there with me spinning this carburetor around. Just gotta fidget, gotta keep my hands moving. So there it is. el44 looks no different from an el46. Hopefully we've got a fix for you. Save you some money. Whatever your dealer charges for these carburetors, 75 bucks, 100 bucks. We're hoping that we can get you out of it for a $10 nozzle and a little bit of grinding on a plate and a little bit of education. You should be all set. There you go.